Well, it's the latter half of August and getting to be time to think about sailing south to Spain, and then to the Canaries, and then back across the Atlantic to the Caribbean. But we're not going anywhere just yet. A major storm, which met Aaron as named Storm Ellen, came crashing into the south coast of Ireland the night of August 19th. I had moved on to one of their sturdy guest moorings, which turned out to be a good idea. I'm not sure my anchor would have held. Winds were probably gusting around 60 knots or so, right after the low passed over and it shifted to the southwest, which happened just after midnight on August 19th into August 20th. And then about 4 days later, another low, which met Aaron named Francis, came through. Not quite as severe as Ellen, but still, it meant that there was nothing else to do but just hang on the mooring and wait for it all to pass. So our issue right now is we don't have any wind, but we got a lot of current. Looks like some other boats heading out. So just a little bit of wind here. So usually the wind tends to pick up around it's late morning, around noon. So hopefully this will pick up pretty soon. And we'll be on our way. Well, the current is holding us more or less at a close reach here. So I'm going to raise both the main and the staysail before picking the anchor up. So got both sails set, and now I'm forward to haul up the anchor. And as we bear away, we're getting swept at a pretty good rate by that ebbing current. So just got to be careful we don't get swept down onto something. And you can see how this current is sweeping us here. Just got to be careful we don't foul moorings of other boats or hit a buoy. Once I work my way out into a little more open water, it's time to go forward and stow the anchor rod and chain and put the hawse cap on. Try to keep as much water as possible from coming down the hawse pipe. And then I put the wedge in, just a big wedge, right in the bow roller there. And that's to keep the spade anchor from swinging around offshore, which it'll do, especially when it gets bumpy, and it dings up the underside of the bowsprit and so forth. So the wedge prevents that. That's the old head of Kinsale. Friday's 4th of September, and we're taking our departure from Kinsale and from Ireland, bound for Bayona, Spain. And hopefully it'll be a little warmer there, a little gentler conditions, although it's pretty nice sailing now. It's just kind of chilly, as always in these parts. And we're not quite out into the open here, but generally we got sort of west winds, about 12 knots or so. I got her reefed down a little bit severely because these winds are supposed to pick up later on. And hopefully with a gradually veering shift, west, becoming west to northwest overnight, and then becoming northwest tomorrow, and then veering all the way to northeast by the time we get down toward Spain, toward Finisterre. So let's hope that's true. So let's make a log entry. Wind is west So it's morning of September 5th. I just woke up from my snooze here. Had a fairly good night of sailing. Nice, nearly full moon. Had a close encounter with a whole fleet of fishing boats. I guess they looked like they were headed back to port. This was around 4 in the morning. And just one after the other was going right across my path, so the AIS alarm's going berserk. And you never know whether they see you or not, so I ended up luffing up just to make sure one of them got past my bow. So that was fun. Otherwise, these winds have backed off a bit. There was 20 and 25 knots last night, so it's dropped down to about 15 now. So despite the slightly lumpy seas, it's pretty good sailing out here. But I think it's time to make a cup of coffee, and then let's do some navigating and see where in the world we are at this point. So here we are, just west of Britain, the Scilly Islands. St. Mary's there. So we're pretty much on our track here. So about 130 miles west of the Lizard. So we're doing pretty well here. We did over 2 degrees. And so all is well. Ahoy, everybody! It is Monday, the 7th of September, 2020, and we are at 46 degrees, 16 minutes north, 9 degrees, 26 minutes west, which kind of puts us kind of right in the middle of the Bay of Biscay. The Bay of Biscay, as you can see, is absolutely beautiful today, and the weather forecast is for very stable weather, still dominated by that high pressure system we talked about. So that's a blessing. The only fly in the ointment is that acceleration zone that's off the northwest coast of Spain by Finisterre. And the weather forecast, the inReach, is still telling me to expect light gale conditions. 25 to 35 knots, possibly gusts up to 40 through tomorrow night, through Tuesday night, and then beginning to dial back to about 20 to 30. So I'm in the unusual but not unheard of position of actually trying to just slow the boat down so that we approach that acceleration zone on Wednesday morning. Hopefully by then the winds will be beginning to dial back a bit. And so right now I just got her sailing under the main alone. I took the staysail down, and so it's quite pleasant. We're doing about 3 knots or so, and I may even end up heaving too for a while, basically just buying some time, because I would really like to avoid gale or near gale conditions, because it's just not fun. So that's where we're at. Otherwise, we got plenty of food and water, and they say they have supermarkets in Bayona, Spain, so we're not, I think we're pretty safe from dehydration and starvation. And otherwise, as you can see, it's absolutely lovely out here. There's still some swells knocking us around, but it's sunny, it's warmer. It's already warmer than Ireland. You can see I'm in shorts and t-shirt, and I'm pretty comfortable. So life is good, and once we get past that acceleration zone, hopefully we'll have nice sailing all the way into Bayona. So, but of course nothing's ever guaranteed, and we'll see what the future brings. We'll talk to y'all again sometime later. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.